I was at this workshop this weekend, and there was an entire session dedicated to why star ratings suck and how to improve them. And I was just sitting there like...
Hey everyone, and welcome back to our coding series in which we build a full stack application with SuperBase, Vercel, and Next.js. This is season 2, and with me, as always, is my friend Judith. Hey Judith.
Hello. We're back.
Last time, we successfully, in our first episode, we celebrated the amazingness of one-click developer experience awesomeness. And in the second episode, we managed to actually migrate over our data from season 1, all of our high quality books that we were collecting in our bookshelf. And we sort of just integrated getting those books from SuperBase and displaying them behind a protected route this time around. Like last time, everything was public. How do you call this? The rules to access database stuff?
Ooh, the row level security.
Thank you. Yes. Exactly. Like we even had this moment where we spoke with a SuperBase AI to create this policy. So that was cool. And today, Judith, you had a plan for today.
Yeah, the plan for today would quite simply be to replace that JSON output we see on your screen there with something more nice looking. So basically, we have our UI components already from season 1, where we build a single page application with React and ShadCN and Tailwind. So the only thing that changed right now is that we're using Next.js, so that we want to render it on the server. But we are still using ShadCN and Tailwind, so we should be able to quite simply copy the code of our UI components and then render them in our Next.js application. So we will not rewrite the whole code. That doesn't make sense because we already have it. But yeah, I think that would be a good goal to have these, we had little card components basically for each book and to, migrate them over, I would say, to our Next.js application.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Do you have hey, did you realize that you could do this in the new macOS? Sorry, side note, but this is first of all, you can snap Windows into place. I know Windows users out there. Bring the hate. It's fine. It's legitimate. It's way too long that this has been on the to-do list for macOS. So happy for this snark session. I think I did that accidentally where I hold down Option and then I think what my point is, you can drag this to the side and then it will come along. But you can also just hold down Option and it kind of gives you the spaces that you can move it into much quicker. And as soon as you did it, you get the divider to do this.
I didn't know about the divider. I knew about the Option thing, but this is pretty cool. Especially if you're screen sharing on a super wide screen or something, right? And no one can see something on your screen. All right.
Perfecto.
What I'm going to do, I'm currently, you can't see this, but I'm in our repository from season 1. So I'm just going to copy the code of our book UI component and I will just paste it into our other repository. Okay, let's think for a second. Let's maybe create a components folder. What do you say?
Absolutely, yeah. So we have nothing yet, right? This is the page that we're looking at. That is the one, just to remind ourselves what happened. Out of the box, this starter came with a route that was called /protected. That's the sort of the home page that you land on as soon as you sign in with your brand new fancy pants SuperBase enabled login user. We renamed that to /books because we didn't like that it was called protected. And now also, we can see it. We still have the Next.js SuperBase starter here. We even have the deploy to Vercel button there. And below, there's even still a whole bunch of boilerplate code. That also means that we, up till now, have not created any component ourselves.
Exactly. but we're going to do that now. So I just created a components folder and in it a books folder and a file called book.tsx. So that's exactly the one we had in our season 1 code.
Though you did.
Oh, yeah.
Quick shout out. There is a components folder. It's just on top level. How do you feel about that? There's also a lib folder on top level.
Ooh, but we probably don't want to mess with that because it will affect where shadcn installs its components, right? Because I think everything in the folder you have open right now in components/UI, that's the shadcn stuff. Oh, I didn't see the components folder.
Yeah, this is like stuff that is used in here. Header auth.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
I think I never saw that it's outside of the app folder.
I think because we only have one app folder, because it makes no sense what I did just now, because I created a folder components directly in the app folder, but that would mean we now have a route components.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Usually, like the way I'm used to with Next.js, you have the app folder and then in it you have another app folder, which is also a little bit confusing, right?
Oh, yeah. In our other project, I think we have a source folder. And inside of that, we have the app folder, which is now the route.
Yeah.
And then we have next to the app folder, just as it is here, actually, the components folder. Okay, fine. Good.
But yeah, it makes... So I just moved the books folder with the book component into the top level components folder. That makes a lot more sense. Sweet. And then I'm gonna delete this other folder. Okay, now we have to see what we actually need from that.
We need our star rating component too. Our beloved star rating component.
It's actually a fun fact. I was at this workshop this weekend and there was an entire session dedicated to why star ratings suck and how to improve them. And I was just sitting there like, because we enjoyed building our star rating component so much. But I can also understand how it's a bit limiting sometimes.
But can you, since we're on it, is in a nutshell, maybe, what's the suggestion instead of stars?
We didn't really come up with a good suggestion.
Oh, really?
But what we figured out is with these star rating components, everything kind of happens in the 4 point something range. You know, when you go to Amazon, you don't even look at the things that have a 3-star rating. You look at the things that have a 4.5 at least, you know, so everything kind of happens in the, in the boundary regions. And the other thing we also discussed is that you're almost forced sometimes to give 5 stars. And we said 5 stars should really be exceptional. Actually, 3 stars is not bad. 3 stars is perfectly good. And 4 stars is really, really good. And 5 stars is wow. Exceptional, perfect. You know, but I think I remember it from, was it Airbnb or something? If you give a 4-star rating, they ask you what was wrong.
Yes.
And I'm does anything have to be wrong? Everything was fine, but it was just, it was not a 5-star experience, you know?
Exactly. But I think I still honestly believe that it's fine to ask. It shouldn't be framed as what was wrong, but since you're not giving the highest rating.
Yeah.
There was something that made you, not give the highest rating, right?
Yeah.
And another nugget of psychology that I learned the other day is that there's a bias that lets us grow suspicious of perfect ratings.
Yes.
So, right? Ideally, whatever you're looking at has a 4.78 stars rating.
But from many ratings, right? That's also something
that
we discussed.
Too.
I would never go to a restaurant which has 5-star ratings.
Exactly. Because
but I would definitely go
fake.
To one which has more than 100 and has an average of 4.8 or something.
Exactly.
But anyway,
it's a difficult topic, really. Yeah.
we still love our star rating component. So I'm also gonna add that one.
Do we have to get anything over in terms of Tailwind configuration? No, right? Like we didn't change anything. Nah, we have yellow 500. That's just standard.
Yeah,
Should be fine.
I'm not sure if we are using any shared CN components that we haven't imported yet.
I think we have a button, actually.
But that one is probably already imported.
I think the button is at least not in our book card component, because this is just for displaying. We're probably gonna, as soon as we get to editing the data, the form part, then we're probably also gonna touch on our previous button component.
Yeah. Okay, now we are missing the book type, which we had defined in our service in season 1.
Yes.
We do want to move things to a service eventually, but we also said we don't want to do that now. But maybe we can just like create an empty service or something where we can define the type.
I mean, we can also, for now, we can just chuck in the type here.
Yeah, let me get it.
Oh yeah, you can get it, of course. But yeah, this should be, I'm sure there's a fancy pants way to get that from SuperBase, no?
That's also what I'm thinking. It would also be nice to do like some schema stuff, maybe, for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe for now, let's do it like this.
Well, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Like, because what we did in the last episode is that we just defined the schema through the UI on superbase.com, right? Like, we didn't even write any code to define the schema on our end. So right now, from the app's perspective, there's something coming in, and it doesn't really.
So the interface I just pasted, we have that in our code.
Do we have the SuperBase schema in code?
Well, we kind of redefined it, I would say. So we did define this interface, but it would be even nicer if we didn't have to do that, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
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 So let's maybe do it like this for now. But yeah, it would definitely be cool if we could somehow infer the type from what's returned from SuperBase.
I'm testing Perplexity AI with the question. We run a Next.js project with SuperBase as the backend. We configured the schema of a table through the SuperBase UI and are fetching the data from that table in our Next.js app now. Is there a way to automatically get the TypeScript types from SuperBase? I would be.
I actually know that there is a way. I think they have a CLI, but let's ask it and.
Oh, let's see what it says.
What does it say?
Yes, there's a way. This process can greatly enhance your development experience. That's what we're looking for. It is exactly what you said, Judith.
Just ask me.
Exactly. Why am I asking the AI when I have you here? This is so cool. Okay, one thing at a time.
Maybe that's a topic for next time, because I remember, I think I tried it once and I definitely had questions. I don't want to say it was difficult. But yeah, that might deserve like its own episode or something. So for now, let's do it like this, and then we can replace it later. I'm just going to try to render that component.
Seriously?
We just imported. So we're just going to do... So we have the books that we're fetching.
Yeah.
Book component, all right. Did it import this? No. Now, oh no, not from icons. That was wrong. This is the one we want. All right.
Cool. You're importing a component that needs use state. this React hook only works
we
on
are
a
in
client
Next.js
component.
land. So of course we
Yeah.
have to make our client components. I forgot about that, but that makes total sense.
This sort of stuff must happen to so many developers since,
Right?
what, half a year now or something?
But I mean, it is a very clear error message.
I love that. Like, this is great, really.
And it's probably only about the star rating component, right?
It is, yeah.
The other one should be fine, I would say, as a server-side component, for now at least. Once we make it clickable, it might also have to be a client-side component. What does it have now?
Element type is invalid. You likely forgot to export your component from the file it's defined in.
Oh no, I did not actually. I do export it.
So this is the book.
Ooh.
This is the star rating.
Hang on a second. I think I might be doing something stupid. If you go to the book file again, to the book.tsx,
Yeah.
the book component and the interface, the type, have exactly the same name, and I'm exporting both. That could be a problem, I would say. So maybe for now, let's just call this book type. Yeah.
And now the book is not defined because
yes,
this
because
was
now
the
it's
book
using
type.
yeah.
Good
but
call.
we want the actual.
Ah, nice.
Okay, let's see if
Very
this
good call,
does
Judith.
it.
Oh, nice. Here it is.
Cool.
Nice. It's in read-only mode because that's intentional.
Yes.
Perfecto.
For like the write operations, we probably really need to implement our service functions. Like all the SuperBase stuff to change the rating, we need an edit function and so on.
Exactly. We have so much stuff coming down the road, really.
Yeah.
That's actually going to change from our single page application only React thing now over to Next.js land. But this is still
nice.
very cool.
That's exactly what we wanted, right? And I think that was a good example of if you are migrating a React single page application to Next.js, assuming you're kind of using the same UI libraries, it's pretty straightforward to just copy your components, I would say. With the caveat, as we saw, you have to think about whether it should be a client component or not. But yeah, if you mess that up, Next.js will tell you. So anything that uses state, or I think any sort of user-driven behavior, that should be a client component. So we need to declare it a client component, but that's a super quick fix. But other than that, it's super straightforward to just migrate components to Next.js, I would say.
Man, it's just like I'm just in the header, and I just wanted to get that deploy button out of there because it's so annoying. Like we're not having this. But there's I was just thinking about all of the stuff that will try to encapsulate SuperBase in a service. We have this whole learning alongside the paradigm shift of server and client side components.
Yes.
We'll stumble on that a couple times, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's a useful paradigm. I'm a huge fan, but it's still, I think it's to have the default be server components that don't have any interactivity is a big paradigm shift for React developers.
It is a big paradigm shift, but I also like that it's the default because that's the whole point of having a server-side rendered application, that we want it to be rendered on the server side mostly.
Yes.
So this way you really think about what actually has to be a client-side component. And you try to kind of make the client-side part as small as possible, I would say. So I like it this way, actually. But yeah, we will stumble upon that a few times, I would say.
It's also, I think it's from a how to handle data perspective, I think it's a good mental model.
Yes.
Right? Because we always, in the past, since the dawn of single page applications, right, we always had this discussion of cores, right? Like cores issues, cross-origin resource security issues, like all of this stuff of the browser is talking to a server endpoint on a different domain. Like what happens in these scenarios? We're leaking API keys onto the client inside of the JavaScript bundle. Then we had, right, like to kind of get a hold of this issue, we had all of these GitHub security configuration things, linting, where it goes looking for if you did something like that. And nowadays, this sort of developer experience really helps to surface this problem that is just not something that you're going to get around. If you have a key that is in the JavaScript bundle that gets downloaded to the client, then you leaked it. And that's it. Like there's no magic that you can get around this. And in SvelteKit land, it's the same. Like it will warn you and actually refuse to get a private environment variable that could somehow end up in a client component. Next.js 15 does the same thing. And I really like this explicitness about client and server.
Yeah, me too, definitely. But I think this is a good point to stop for now. And then maybe next episode could really be a more back-end focused SuperBase thing. So we could, as we discussed, maybe move all our SuperBase database interactions to a separate service. So that's like a bit more encapsulated. And then we could really check out that CLI and see if we can generate types and stuff.
Totally. Let's do that.
I think that would be cool.
Absolutely. Like if we're going for the optimal developer experience, have the most frictionless setup going on here, then I, as a designer who's now less afraid of databases, if I get to click together my schema on SuperBase and still enjoy the convenience of getting auto-inferred TypeScript interfaces, man, I mean, that's awesome, I would say.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right?
We will see. Like we will try it out.
Exactly.
But that would be super cool if we could just get the types from SuperBase directly.
Very cool. Like with all of that stuff ahead of us now, even though we have the components for our basic app already, I'm sort of starting to wonder if we can, if we'll get through all of this stuff in 10 episodes. But let's see, I would say.
There's so much. Like we have the components, yes, but I mean, this page is really the only page that kind of looks the same, I would say, because we already talked about it. Once we click on a book, we will now probably create a new route for a single book, which we didn't have before. So that's already where it starts.
Yeah.
Then we still have the whole, that's also something. I don't know if we said we're going to do that today or not, but we will do it at some point. We now have users. We have authentication. So that's also something we still have to do. We have to save the user who created a book and then only display a user's book to them and not to everyone. So there's so many things that we can do. I also got some nice feedback from some of our viewers that they would be interested to see what a migration to React 19 would look like. So I'm like super intrigued to do that. That would be really fun.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this request? Like what's from where to where?
When we announced that we're doing season 2 with Next.js, someone asked, like, are you going to do the Canary React 19 release, which I haven't even checked the package JSON, but I assume we're still on React 18, I guess.
Let me check. Yeah, we're on 18.2.
Exactly. But I think there's already like the Canary release of React 19, and it's like just around the corner. And that's going to be, I think, another big paradigm shift with the server components and stuff. So someone asked, like, are you going to start with React 19 right away? So we didn't do that, which I think is also fair. But because we kind of wanted to see what the setup is like when we just do the Vercel stuff out of the box. So we didn't change anything. We took the things they suggested for us.
Yes.
So I would suggest to kind of continue like this for now, but I would definitely like to try the migration to React 19 on this project.
Right on.
Because also, like from my Berlin tech bubble, that's all the front-end devs are talking about right now. Like, how can we migrate to React 19 in bigger projects? And I think trying it on a small project like this one could be super insightful.
Is 19 the version that also has a compiler that doesn't run in virtual DOM anymore?
Oh, yeah, that's the React compiler, right? I don't know if it's included in React 19 or not, or if that's like separate things. I'm not sure about that. But
Amazing.
What I also heard, another completely different topic. We have like 10 seasons, I think, ahead of us. Vercel, I think they are coming out with their own Webpack alternative.
I heard about that. Yes.
TurboPack.
Yeah.
I think also something we could try.
They built it from scratch in Rust or something, I think.
Yes. I heard that.
Yeah, I know. It's nuts. And I think I was, I'm not sure, like I didn't follow that topic enough. I heard that there's like Webpack and TurboPack are some sort of, they're compatible somehow. And I think they were already trying to run TurboPack on side of their Vercel platform for a couple projects to have it as like a drop-in replacement. But like all of this is really, I just heard it from somewhere who said it, who heard. Exactly. Let's see where we can go deeper in those topics.
Exactly, because these kind of announcements always get me super excited and then I want to try it. But of course, you can't just try out something like that in a production project or something, like a running application with many users or something. Totally. But that's why like side projects like this one are so much fun, because we can just try out whatever we want to try out. And I really think there's so many cool things coming up in the React universe, in like full stack web development in general. So yeah, we can take all of them for a test ride, and I think that will be fun.
And I really hope that this series, like, since exactly as you say, we get to try these things, I hope this helps someone to come to a more qualified decision which hype train to jump on, right? There's so much stuff and you just have to take a decision. Otherwise, you'll just end up doing nothing because you're trying to do 20 things at a time.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the, I don't know, probably great things and horrible things about our industry at the same time. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. On that note, thank you everyone for tuning in. I love that we're getting feedback already. Like, if you have more of it, please share, please ask questions. We'll try to incorporate all of the things. And in the next episode, we'll continue to restore our previous application in this new tech stack. I'm already super afraid of making this service around the SuperBase thing. And those are the things that you know, where I love that you're with me, because I'd be hopeless with this.
Yeah,
and
I'm
so
fun.
eager
It's
to
gonna
learn
be
that
fun.
stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right.
See you next time.
Ciao.
Bye.